This week on What in the World is Going On, anti-Semitism reigns in the U.S. and Canada. So stay tuned, friends. Fellow colleague Jesse King wrote that article March 31st of this year, informing us of the alarming rate of anti-Semitism in the U.S. and right here in Canada. In the article, he states that the polls have spoken. It's still not safe to be Jewish in North America. The Anti-Defamation League's recent poll found that among Jewish Americans, 63% of respondents have either experienced or heard anti-Semitic comments, slurs, or threats targeting others, according to the Times of Israel. Last year, that number sat at 54% in the United States. 9% of respondents reported being physically attacked for their Jewish identity in the past 5 years. Jesse goes on to say, meanwhile, Jewish people suffered higher rates of hate crimes than any other group in Canada in 2020. In 2019, there were 1,946 police-reported hate crimes, 608 of which targeted religion. Nearly 50%, 296 of those crimes against religion targeted Jewish Canadians. Friends, that's sad, especially as Jesse reminds us that the U.S. and Canada pride themselves on their unbiased treatment of all. I personally remember October 1st of 2018, right here in my hometown of Regina, that Luther College invited Dr. Mitri Reheb to their 43rd annual Luther lecture at the University of Regina. Dr. Reheb is a Lutheran pastor. He served as senior pastor at the Christmas Church in Bethlehem, Israel from 1987 to 2017. He's also the founder and president of Dar al-Kalima University in Bethlehem. And he is the most widely published Palestinian theologian to date, authoring and editing over 40 books, which includes one of his more recent books, Faith in the Face of Empire, the book he was promoting at that lecture, which, by the way, demonized Israel as occupiers of stolen Palestinian land. Friends, in a packed lecture hall, he basically told the people that the Israel of the Bible have nothing to do with the Israel today, and that the Jewish people of the Bible have no connection to the Jewish people today. No, in fact, he went on to say that the Bible was written to Palestinians, and the sufferings of Jesus on the cross is how Palestinians view themselves under Israeli occupation. And everyone in that packed lecture theater gave him a round of applause. What Bible is he reading? What Bible are many Christians who side with him reading? Certainly not the one I'm reading. And when we confronted him on his anti-Semitism, he told me point blank that I am part of the problem, that me and every evangelical Christian believing and understanding God's word in a literal, grammatical, historical way is wrong, and that our belief is oppressive to the Palestinian people. Well, friends, as Jesse King reminds us, anti-Semitism is alive, well, and growing in Canada. And our universities are hotspots for this demonic hatred. They ought to fear God. Because in Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8, God says, "For he that touches you touches the apple of his eye." I'm also reminded of Jesus' words in Matthew 25, verse 40, where Jesus says, "Inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me." Well, friends, tomorrow, April 8th, marks Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, in which we remember the horrific, systematic killing of over 6 million Jewish men, women, and children. And provided in the description below are links to the annual March of the Living, which is an annual educational program bringing students from all around the world to Poland, where they can see firsthand the horrors of the Holocaust and meet with Holocaust survivors and hear their heartbreaking stories. So just click on the links provided, friends, and get involved. And so let us remember, as Jesse points out to us, that your Jewish friends, the Jewish people today, face a real danger. And so we need to keep them in our prayers, pray for their safety, and take advantage of any opportunity you have, friends, to speak up for them when they face persecution. Let us stand with them. Let us support them. And let us love them, just as we have done at the Friends of Israel for over 82 years, obeying God's command in Isaiah 40, verse 1, where God says, "Comfort ye, my people." So until next time, friends, this has been What in the World is Going On with the Friends of Israel Gospel Ministry. Good night.